Hi, it's the 15th of August. I'm doing this on a smartphone because my camera's giving me problems I have to sort out. This is the Sunday Business Post. I just want to show it to you here. The 15th of August. Blackout looms this winter as emergency plan is abandoned. So you know I'm always on about the energy and our electricity. And again, number 40 N. And we'll be quick on this. And now, one of the things now that has happened is, said in the last video, where there was a plan to install 200 megawatts of fast-acting gas turbine, very inefficient, to try and prevent blackouts this winter. But something has happened, according to the paper there. People called Tina Company have gone to court because they weren't allowed tender. In other words, the government just decided to buy these with using from the ESB without giving anyone else a tender, and that's contrary to the law and EU law. And it looks at this point that the government will cave in on that, and they have to abandon the idea to install this 200 megawatts. Now you know about data centres are gobbling up the power, and wind farms, when the calm conditions, are using a lot of power as well. So there's a plan C, plan C, according to the paper, and it's to cut power during peak times. It's known as load shedding, and it happens. The only other country in the moment doing it is South Africa, and you know there's a state of chaos in South Africa at the moment. So they're going to cut the power, and this is going to cause blackouts. This is how serious this is going. Now, our esteemed Minister Eamon Ryan, who I locked horns with, and we've been doing consultations on this and begging them to listen for years, and they wouldn't listen. He said that it's one of the most important issues facing government. So what I'm trying to do here is to be ahead of them, that the media cannot wait till this happens, that it's going to be known by the people before the media say it. That's the reverse psychology I'm using on this channel. So Ryan said it's one of the most important issues facing government. So we're facing blackouts. Now, it would be laughable, all right, and I would laugh, but then there's always the probability that the lights go out when somebody's in an operating theatre or on a table or something and the generator doesn't work. So it is a very, very serious matter. So hospitals will be very busy this winter. We could have more flu, we could have more of the pandemic and more of that stuff, and this is very, very worrying. Now, another very important point is a crowd called Gas Networks Ireland, and they're the company responsible for connecting up gas to people who want it, and they say that even if they install the 200 megawatts of gas generation, they won't be able to connect them up because there's a shortage of gas. It all comes in through one pipeline in Scotland, and most of it, we have a little of our own. So effectively, when they go over to electric cars and they do all this stuff, our entire energy is going to be dependent on one pipeline coming in from Scotland, more or less. The petrol, the diesel won't be allowed to be used, and all of this. Now, Moneypoint is a coal-fired power station. They ordered it closed down, and it's presently running full whack. And according to the paper, there is no way it will be closed down. And just to show you the dire circumstances, remember all these electricity companies are insolvent and facing very severe financial constraints. And here's a poster being put round by SSE Electricity, another mad renewable crowd that walks straight into this with their eyes shut. And they're giving you a voucher, a Dunstores gift card of €320 to shop in Dunstores. Look at that. Plus 10% off your home electricity if you switch over to them. They must be in a bad way. Now, anyone who swallows this is a fool, because what happens is you get a couple of weeks or maybe a month or two cheap electricity. You get this voucher, and you'll find that when you go into Dunnes stores, you may be restricted in what you buy, and this is what they're at. But the fact that an electricity supply company in Ireland is offering well, it's a 320 gift card, and this is 200. It doesn't really matter, folks. They're giving you some type of a bonus to try and persuade vulnerable people, the poor and most needy, thinking they're going to get a bargain. And the next thing is they'll have it stitched in, which with the direct debit and everything else, in through any payments they get from the state or whatever, or their wages, and they'll not be able to get out. So this is more of it. And also, indeed, you know that I'm constantly trying to warn people about the initiative by government. It was Richard Bruton, I heard, saying it, that people should put their gratuity and money they have into renewable energy because it's community schemes. They're going to lose everything. So you see a state of chaos. You see the panic with the insolvency. All Irish wind companies are insolvent, and they're dragging down the main companies like SSE with them because they can't afford. They have to keep them going. They're almost bankrupt, and they're in a terrible state when they're doing this. This is a panic measure. and this is going to catch people. Warn your friends, warn your neighbours, and tell them have nothing to do with these crowd. I find Bord Gáis the best to deal with, but I don't like to plug. I'm getting nothing from anyone. Folks, it's coming to pass, everything we said, and thank you. Give me a like, and thank you for your kind comments on the channel, and we'll see you back.